Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Crimson Carta dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is Thursday. Good morning. Well, I had a topic all picked out for today. Thought about it and everything. But then catastrophe stuck yesterday, and we're going to talk about catastrophe. I took a hard fall. That's right, a physically hard fall in the worst spot of my body I could have fallen. It was muddy, and I fell hard. And I didn't really know it until later on in the evening how bad it was. Woke up this morning to really how bad it was, and now a few hours later, it's even more really how bad it is. So what do? What do you do if you injure yourself right now? Surgical centers aren't open. You don't want to go to an emergency room. You don't want to go for an x-ray. What do? Physical fitness right now probably equals mental fitness. It's unusual that during times like we've been in America right now and in the world, people have been very limited what they can do physically. So your muscle tone might have been down. You might have put on some weight. You're not in as good a shape. Your wind might not be as good. All these different challenges just from being at home for 90 days to 120 days with no physical activity to speak of. Okay. Took a fall. Now what do? First thing you have to do, and this is important for anyone who has this happen, you can't think you're normal. You can't think that you took a fall and you're not going to pay the penalty. I made the mistake yesterday. Mrs. Stoner said, "You're going to feel this tomorrow." I just marched about my business into the house. Everything was all right. Cleaned up. Threw the pants into the washer. They're covered in mud. You know what? Big mistake. After something like that, after a fall or a bruising or a bumping at our age, 62, or even younger if you're frail, like I am now, you can't think you're like you were when you were 20. You got to think like you are when you're 62. I should have iced it. Mrs. Stoner offered ice. I should have rested completely and not stood. And I ended up standing in the kitchen with Mrs. Stoner. So what you have to do is very difficult to do this. And I'm not going to tell everybody, hey, this is what you got to do because it's so simple. I'm going to say this is what you ought to do because it's very difficult. Injury happens. Quick, think of what you need to do to help yourself the day after. You're concerned when it happens with, oh, that hurts. I better hold that hand on. You're not thinking, I better ice it. I better wrap it. I better keep it up. And with the body, with the body like a back, like where I fell on my left lumbar area, right on above my hip, it's unbelievable. You actually have to think, how can I walk less? How can I do less and still be okay? Now, a lot of that's up here, don't forget. Okay? So it's very difficult if your physical fitness declines to not have your mental fitness decline. Does that make any sense? They kind of work hand in hand. So even in an acute thing, when you get injured, which is acute, not chronic. Chronic is what we deal with all the time. Acute is kind of an injury situation. Even with the acute situation, you've still got to have mental fitness. You've still got to find a way to, oh man, I really did a stupid thing. What are the 3 things I need to do now that I did that stupid thing so another stupid thing doesn't happen automatically? Think about this. You do nothing after the stupid thing. The stupid thing is you fall. But if you do nothing, it's not stupid, it was an accident, but you fall, hurt yourself, and do nothing. Potentially, day after, you could be hurt more. If you hurt yourself, this doesn't change the pain, doesn't change the way it feels, but if you hurt yourself and do step 1, step 2, and step 3, which you know what to do. I'll say it again, step 1, step 2, and step 3, you know what to do. This should be automatic, step 1, step 2, and step 3. Right away. So worse things don't happen. We know this. History repeats itself. We know if we don't take care of it after you hurt yourself, you're going to hurt worse. Why then can't every time something like this happens, the trigger, it's the catalyst, it's the spark that makes these three things happen? Do you understand what I'm saying? The spark. Okay? Don't make it the torpedo that hurts you more. Make it the spark that puts you into high gear. You know what to do. The three things that will reduce your pain after you've hurt yourself before you do more. You're inserting a step is all you're doing. You're still doing all the other things you want to do, but you're inserting a step, a little step. And that step is going to be pre-prepared for you. You'll know, because you'll say to yourself, now that you've fallen, what are the things I want to do right after I take a fall, if it ever happens again? This isn't the first time, by the way. This is the worst. You'll have it packaged. It'll be bingo, bango, I took a fall. I got to do step A, B, and C. And then the aftermath won't be like it is for me right now. Learn from my mistake. Honestly, that is the simplest way for anybody out there to learn. From somebody else's mistake. I can't say it more seriously. Why put yourself through it if I'm telling you I just went through it? You don't want to go through it. All you got to do is insert that extra step. 1, 2, and 3, the things you need to do after you hurt yourself. And you got to do them. Let's take our Crimson Carta dab and try to take the pain down. It's going to be a tough day, but I am going to do a couple of things to keep the pain down. Cheers. Very tasty. Margarita flavor, raw garden sauce to start the day. Remember, mental fitness equals physical fitness. Do the best you can. If you hurt yourself, have a plan. Cheers.